Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC Show. Coming up, we're going to talk about the best ways to splurge your points. Hey, everyone. Coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined in the studio this week by co-owner and realtor with movingtoorlando.com, Mr. Sean Falk.
Hi.
Our producer, Mr. Corey Fiasco.
Welcome home.
And joining us via the interwebs from DVC Resale Market, Mr. Derek DeBoer.
Good morning.
And right next to him, the marketing and sales director for DVC Resale Market, the lovely Marissa Valaton.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And of course, we have the senior editor for DVCfan.com, the lovely Mr. Paul Krieger.
Hey, everybody.
And the webmaster on disboards.com, the lovely Mr. Rob Lindsay.
Hello.
Now, you want really lovely in Rob's house, you got to talk to his wife. Okay? His wife is amazing. Welcome. I got everybody, right?
Got everyone.
Because we have like 73 people on this show.
Yeah, 74.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anyone because I have a bad habit of doing that. Welcome, folks. Hope your week is off to a good start. Before we get started, just a few things. First, please subscribe to our channel here on YouTube, and also hit that thumbs up, that like button. That does really help us out with the YouTube algorithm. The more that like button gets hit, the more they're going to recommend it to other folks on YouTube. So that really does help us out. So nice thumbs up. Another thing that really helps us out is if you like our content, if you like the stuff we do, then please support our sponsor, which is the World of DVC. And the World of DVC consists of DVCresalemarket.com. If you want to buy a DVC resale contract, DVCrentalstore.com if you want to rent out your points, or if you're looking to rent some points or try before you buy, great option there. And of course, MoneraFinancial.com if you want to if you want to finance your resale purchase. Links to all of those things in the description right down below. And while you're down there, there's that like button. Okay. And I'm going to make sure Fiasco puts up a little graphic of the like button when I do this.
It's going up right now.
It's going up right now. So, all right. So we thought it might be fun to talk about, everybody's always like best use of points. And that's really valid. And we should always think about that. But sometimes it's fun to think about what's the best splurge. If you really want to splurge with your points, you're going to bank last year's, borrow next year's, and just do something big. Do something big, unless you're Fiasco, because that would only give you 30 points.
Yeah.
But I'm kidding.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, his splurge is a 1-bedroom for a night.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I think I would like to start out with this one, with Rob, who's been a DVC member from very early on. And I'm sure he's had experience splurging points. I know at one point, Rob had like 8,350,000 points, I think. I'm kidding. But he had a lot. Because he was a really good boss. And he used to take his points and reward his employees with trips to Disney World using his points. I'm right on that. I remember that correctly.
You are right on that.
Yeah. One reason he's just a great guy. So Rob, start with you. What are some of the ways you think are good ways to splurge with your points?
Well, some of the obvious ones are to take your whole family, get a grand villa. And that I can't disagree with that. But we've also used points for the concierge collection. And I know a lot of people who don't believe that any use of the points is a bad way to use them. that have used it for a cruise. So there are some people that purchase enough points to be able to take advantage of the DVC program and have done so.
Yeah, and we always, that is definitely a way to splurge your points. We always tell people that's terrible use of your points. It's much better for things like the Concierge Collection cruise, ABD, stuff like that. First of all, you can only do that if you have bought direct through Disney. You can't use resale points for that. But it's always better to rent your points out and take that cash and buy them cash, because the comparative value is, I think I figured out at one point, doing a cruise, your points are worth like $6 or $7 based on the price of that cruise. So, but that is absolutely one way to splurge. What about you, Marissa?
My whole membership is pretty much based on this topic. This is how I do it. I will gather up all my points and do like a blowout 1 or 2 night stay. That's what I love to do. So I have used my points for a night in the bungalows, for 3-bedroom Grand Villa at Grand Floridian, you name it. My favorite, though, splurge, I would say, is probably the cottages at Vero Beach. Just because the value, it's still not, when we talk about like comparable 3 bedrooms or Grand Villas, it's not the peak in terms of point usage, but it's such a nice stay to have, almost like your little beach house, your getaway right there, but then all the deep feel, you're on the beachfront, and there's nothing more beautiful than stepping on your patio and just having that whole beachfront, really beautiful private. So I would say that's probably my favorite splurge.
Okay. I see a pattern. I see a pattern for me. Sean, I'm going to come to you. And I have a feeling that Sean's and mine are probably going to be pretty similar.
Yeah, I actually was between two. One I've done and one I've not. So mine is probably the same as Pete's. Is going to be the cabins at Copper Creek.
No, actually, that is absolutely one on my list, but not the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, mine would be the cabins at Copper Creek. I think they are just like a home away from home, but also feels like you're on a vacation. They're so secluded. You still have such quick access to get to Magic Kingdom. And I think that they are the best thing I would want to stay in on property. So if somebody just said, hey, you can stay anywhere you want to on Disney World property, that's what I'd pick. The thing I was actually between was that or the cottages at Vero Beach. And I've not done them myself. I haven't even been to the Vero Beach Resort, but I just know I do like the beach a lot. And I am a person that would prefer to have a house at the beach if I'm going, because I just want to be able to walk right off the beach to my house, use my shower, just come in and feel. Because a lot of times, like, I'll go tanning or whatever, and I want to come in immediately and get sand off me, tanning lotion off me. If people want to cook and have food or drink or whatever right there, that's appealing to me. And, like, that's my idea of a vacation. So that would be a huge splurge for me and would be so great by comparison to having, like, a standard hotel room where I have to go all the way back in and, like, go through the hotel, through the lobby, and do everything like that. I would rather have the cottage right there. So if I'm going to splurge, I'm probably going to do that as my Disney option.
All right. Derek, what about you?
I swear, I think we're all on the same page here. I am a huge Vero Beach advocate. I love it. Obviously, being a member, we live 15, 20 minutes away. So we're not necessarily using our points to go down the street to stay for 7 nights, all right, at a DVC resort. So we primarily use our points at Vero and Hilton Head. And I think if I'm going to grow points, it's got to be the standalone beach cottage, which they're unlike anything else at DVC, just because most Grand Villas are in with all the other rooms, right? This is literally, if you haven't seen them, you have to go. They're standalone beach cottages, upstairs, downstairs. You literally have your own cottage. And like John said, and Marissa has been there. I missed the invite when she last stayed at the beach cottage. So, but yeah, it's incredible. It's just absolutely, I think if I'm going to blow my points, Give me 2 hours away to Vero Beach and give me one of those beach cottages, and I would be very happy. But then again, splurging on points for me is if I was happen to use points on a Friday or a Saturday night, right? So, I mean, that's a splurge for me because I like to stretch my points out as long as I can. So, again, I think the combination of a Vero Beach cottage and using some points on a Friday or a Saturday night, that would be very gluttonous for me to do either of those things.
All right. Paul, what about you?
So splurging points really gives me a whole lot of anxiety because most of the time I'm trying to take 310 points and say, let's spread them out so that we can have 6 vacations.
Okay, so I have to interrupt. We have the graphic now out there somewhere of Corey Fiasco as Point Miser, aka like Heat Miser from the Christmas special, but I called Corey Point Miser. Now I need to ask the creatives in the audience to give me a Paul Krieger Point Miser. Is what I need. So
There's your picture.
Challenge is out there. There's the picture. And then we need someone to record the song, the Point Miser song.
Yeah, an animation would be great. Like a little
Yeah.
show tune would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
So we are going to sort of live out our first splurge here at the end of March. And I can't take the opportunity to not thank a good friend that we've met through the DVC fan community. His name is Ken Martin. And Ken had points that were expiring on April 1st. He was originally going to come down for the Diz family reunion, but that was postponed until the fall. So he was going to lose those points. And he reached out to me, said, hey, could you use these? And we said, well, we're going during that period. So sure. So Ken is allowing us to basically stay one night in a Copper Creek cabin, which is going to be our first time there and probably the last. I don't know. Not if I can help it. But
So in addition, let me see if I understand this, Paul. In addition to being Point Miser, you are also the DVC fan community point panhandler. Am I getting this right?
Not
And yes,
quite.
you can
Not
go
like
ahead
in
and
a
give
lot-
me, and someone out there can go ahead and give me a graphic. Give me something to point as the Paul is the DVC point panhandler.
There's the picture.
There's the picture.
Put your hand up so like you're holding something.
Yeah, like you're holding your hands out. No, like
that works too.
Um,
will work for points.
I'm not good at my Vanna White, so. But no, extreme thank you to Ken. He's become a good personal friend to Amy and I, and we've talked a lot throughout the past year. So he's allowed to he's making that happen. We're using our points then to stay the rest of the time in March at Midway Tower. But it's going to be fun to just experience one night, and we'll definitely be bringing the DVC fan community along with us for that one night stand, so to call it, at Copper Creek Cabins.
Really? That's what you call nights with your wife? One night stand? Wow. Wow, we're learning so much. We're learning so much about you today, Paul. All right. Fiasco, what's your splurge?
Yeah, so I mean, you kind of hit the nail right on the head at the beginning of the show. I have never really splurged on my DVC
On anything
points.
ever in his entire life.
Yeah, I mean, that's not too far-fetched to say. But the closest thing that I did get to splurging was, a 1-bedroom at Copper Creek, a 1-bedroom at Saratoga. So yeah, like the 1-bedroom stays are my splurge. Now, these are staycations with just me and one other person.
Was that how you refer to your wife? Or is it not your wife? Is it somebody else?
It is my wife. My wife is
Me
the
and
other
one
person.
other
Wait,
person.
I was
Wow,
like,
you're
what?
such a
I was like,
romantic.
honeymoon
On
with
top of being
his
point
wife.
miser,
Into a
you're
whole
such a
other thing.
romantic.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want you to introduce her from now on. Hi, I'm Corey. This is some other person. I want you to introduce her like that from now on. I really do.
Well, Haley, if you're watching this, I do apologize. My wife, Haley, that's who the other
I'm
person.
like, who is some other person?
Yeah.
Who's he talking about?
But sometimes I do get rooms for my family when they're in town. So, who's to say that one
So
day
his
in the
mother
future-
is also some other person.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, this is all true, and I'm sorry to all the people that I do book and share rooms with.
I live for moments like this.
Yeah. So, but who is to know that if one day down the line I may splurge and maybe get something like a grand villa? Probably not. But we'll see. And if I did, I would probably lean into the tree houses, just because I would have my car. And you do get, as far as grand villa type rooms, that quality of rooms concerned, you do get the tree houses at fairly low points in the year. So that's probably where I'd swing.
All right. I think
I had one to throw out
Yeah.
there as a thing that I just didn't think of till we were sitting here. I think a splurge, I guess, because you can't get it, it's something that doesn't even cross my brain, would be the Grand Californian. I love the Grand Californian in general, just to stay there. But it's so easy when you go to Disneyland to just stay off property, because you really can. I mean, everything's so close. So just staying on property in one of the 3 Disney resorts, not really Paradise Pier, but the other 2. So if you're going to stay at one of those, it really is already kind of a splurge by comparison, because you can actually be closer to getting in the park from some certain other hotels than you even can from some of the Disney hotels. So it's not too far fetched. From Paradise Pier, I can go to some of the other resorts. Pete was looking at me like,
yeah,
you can't,
there's
but
no place closer
yeah.
than the Grand California.
I'm saying between the 3 Disney hotels that are there are places you can stay that are closer than Paradise Pier.
Oh, then Paradise Pier.
Yeah, Paradise Pier.
Oh, Grand
is.
California, because the
Exactly.
entrance to California Adventures right there.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. The Grand Californian is super close, and it's such a splurge to even just go ahead and stay there by comparison to staying off property, because of the ease and convenience of it for Disneyland. But if you can get a room, they're really, really nice. And Nancy Johnson did a video, so that's the only time I've gotten to see them. But she was able to get a grand villa there.
Well, she owns it.
Yeah, so she was able to get a grand villa there, I think for just like a night or maybe 2. And it was really, really nice. And it was just such a good location. And I think if you're going to Disneyland, I mean, that's really the best thing that you can get if you could.
If you're looking for DVC friends online, friends in general, you can't beat Nancy Johnson. Honestly, I've known Nancy for, Lord, 20 plus years now. And just follow her on Facebook. Friend her on Facebook. She's going to love me saying this. But she's awesome. She really is. I love Nancy. And Nancy's always doing fun little things at Disneyland for us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a good point. The Grand Californian as a splurge. I love that resort as well, since they did the remodel.
Yeah.
Before that, I didn't like it, but after
It was
the
so
remodel,
dark before. Yeah.
it was so dark,
Yeah.
dark and dank. Was the word I used to describe those rooms in the hotel. I've not been in the DVC side yet, but for me, and I'm surprised this wasn't on your list. For me, when I think about splurging on DVC points, see, I'm big on the view, right? Rooms with a view, with a good view, that are epic. And the first thing that came into my mind were the Grand Villas at Aulani. I have never stayed in one. I know my business partner in Dreams Unlimited Travel, John Magi, and his husband, and a bunch of his friends pull points once a year, and they get the Grand Villa, and they have a great time. But I've been in those Grand Villas before, and you walk out on that balcony and that view, just breathtaking. That to me is the ultimate splurge of DVC points. And yes, a very close second. The cabins at Copper Creek are without a doubt the best room at Walt Disney World. And that's me saying that, because I've been in all of them. And I've reviewed all of them in terms of the feel of it, in terms of the amenities. in terms of the comfort, the style and design, there is no place, no room, no grand villa, no suite at any other property at Walt Disney World, in my opinion, that is better than the cabins at Copper Creek. It was a unique experience. And now I want to go to stay in the damn cabin.
Yeah, I would live in them.
Oh,
if they
absolutely.
Were, like, they're the only, and that sounds crazy to say, they're the only rooms at Disney World, at Walt Disney World, that I've ever stayed in where I was like, I would actually live in this if it were a home option to buy.
Well,
So
don't give Disney any ideas, or if they'll let us sell them.
yeah, really, that'd be
let us
fine.
sell
But yeah, I would live in and I've stayed in like the Grand Floridian 3-bedroom and the Riviera one. As nice as they are, they don't feel like home. They still feel like you're on a vacation somewhere. But like that one feels like a house. Like, it's nice.
Yeah, it was magnificent. I love Wilderness Lodge right now is my preferred resort in general at Walt Disney World. And that is driven mostly by the DVC side. I've never been a fan of the hotel rooms at Wilderness Lodge. But my experiences with DVC, Copper Creek, both in the regular rooms and the cabins, and Boulder Ridge, really what made me a fan of Wilderness Lodge. So lots of good options out there. Lots of good options. I still think mine is the best, though. The Grand Villa at Alani.
They're really nice. Yeah.
They're incredible.
Even if you go, they'll do like the tours through those. So like the DVC reps, like they will give you a tour through the Grand Villa. So
if after this discussion you have come to the conclusion you don't have enough points, my buddy Derek over there is more than happy to talk to you at dvcresalemarket.com. You can grab yourself some more points, or if you want to rent the points to go and experience these things, dvcrentalstore.com. I'm just going to give the plug. I'm just being. And again, if you like our content, these charming shows we do, especially me, I'm incredibly charming. Best way to show your support is to do business with our sponsors. So that is going to do it for our show for this week, folks. We hope you enjoyed it. We will see you again next week with another edition of the DVC show. Have a great week.